Hi, and welcome to Virtual Classroom, escape room style. So I'm really glad that you joined in today. And what I have for you is a little escape room with virtual classroom that kind of married together. As I go through this, the first thing I'm going to do is just walk through the whole virtual classroom and escape room, everything like that. And then I'll show you how I created it. If you're like me, your mind is going to start racing 100 miles an hour with lots of ideas. So just hit that pause button, write down those ideas, and so you'll always have them. And then you'll be on your way to creating your own. So this is what I started. I started with a Harry Potter theme. I like Harry Potter, so I decided to start there. I did embed a little bitty video right down here. That is the YouTube little Harry Potter theme song. I made it to play on its own as soon as the web page started, and then I also made it to where it would loop, so it would continue on forever. So welcome to Hogwarts, and we're ready to help Harry escape. So let's go. So I'm just going to click this let's go, and it brings up my first room here. If you don't pause each video, it does continue to play. So here I did create this one. This is our potions classroom. So I just found some clips on YouTube or on Google there. You have to be really careful, especially if you're going to be publishing this. And then I had a table and stools there, just little potion bottles. And again, you could give another clue. The lock is in maybe one of those potion bottles, but I just decided to make another lock. You can make it a little bit more hidden if you'd like. But here's my lock, and it's going to take me directly to the first lock. Now, this first one I did make a copy because it's kind of like a worksheety kind of sort of deal. It's interactive. I would say interactive worksheet. So it makes a copy and takes it to here. So I am very straightforward in my directions here. So sort the shapes into the correct column by dragging and dropping the shapes. So if I have a triangle, I'm going to drag and drop my triangles. And then I have quadrilaterals, which I've just been talking about. I know that they have 4 sides. So I can drag and drop all these different shapes in here. And then I know that I have one that is neither a quadrilateral nor a triangle. So I can take all those and I could have those there. You could have them submit this here. You could have them submit this if you'd like, and then, or you could, they're going to need this information. So I'm going to come through here and sort all these. And then once I get all those sorted, then I would be ready to move on. And when I'm ready to move on, it says ready to unlock. Click here in the top right-hand corner. That's just a word art. I linked it there. So I'm going to click here. Now, because this is a copy, I'm going to have to take it there, and then you can unlink it and that kind of sort of thing. So here I go back to my potions classroom. So I just made a copy there, and it says, how many triangles did you find? Well, I'm going to go back to my lock, and it looks like I found 4 triangles. So I can click the 4. Now, let's say I didn't know what a triangle was, or I miscounted, and I accidentally clicked 9. So if I did that, then it says, sorry, you clicked an incorrect answer. So therefore, it's not just like straightforward or, looking for the pointer finger to know that's a link. Again, 5 does the exact same thing as well. It's the exact same Google drawing. So I had 4 triangles. And so then all right, that's awesome. Now we're on to the next lock here. And so again, some more Harry Potter music. All right, so we're now on to lock 2. And so I really didn't say anything about this, right? So you're not quite sure the directions, but obviously you have some equations here. I'm a math teacher. You're in math class. So you're thinking, okay, I need to solve these. So I'm going to solve all of these. And then it says ready to unclock. I'm going to click here. And after I have solved all of those, it says a little hint says, Hagrid, maybe you should add more food to Buckbeak's diet. So this little guy over here is Buckbeak, in case you didn't know that. And so you're thinking, okay, I just saw some equations. Not quite sure what's going on here. And obviously some of these that you've clicked are answers or solutions that you got to that. But we're in math class again, so I know that, and since I said you should add, I'm going to add all of them up. So when I add all of those up, I would get 24. So I'm just going to click -6. That was a solution to one of the equations, but it says it's an incorrect answer, so you need to go back. And so here I'm back, and so I'm going to click 24. I've figured out I need to add up all my solutions when I solve for x from LOC 2. And so then I click on 24. It takes me to my final LOC. Again, this was a little bit, I would say shorter than maybe what you would like for your classes, but it's kind of up to you. And then I have a LOC over here. It's a little bit more challenging to find because it does kind of clash, or I say clash, but kind of blend in with the yellow here. Kind of up to you on how you want that to make it work. And then I'm on my LOC 3. And so you can see here, I don't have hardly any directions. I just have lots of lines here. I'm in math class again. I see lots of numbers and I have some fractions. Maybe, you're not quite sure what you're looking for. So what I like to do is hide sometimes a little hint. I like to make it not really necessarily face the right way, and I make the font really small, but you are going to find the slope. It just kind of makes it a little bit more challenging and a little bit more like you are kind of looking and searching, just not nearly as straightforward. So I'm going to find the slopes of all of those. Actually, there are 5 lines, but you'll only find 4 answers. And they are B, and then L, U, and one of the E's. I think it's this E. And then there's one more that you have a line you can't find the slope for. Now, if you put all those together, that's going to make the word blue. Now, obviously, as you're searching through, those letters could and probably would be kind of jumbled up. So I'm ready to unlock here. And so now I have the letters that I know, and now I know that they spell out the word blue. I also see that there is a blue some places on this little answer sheet here. So as you can see, I did make a little hidden. So it's on this blue square. Obviously, there's some blue over here, and that's just, again, this is just an example. So I did have a blue here. So now if your kids are going to be searching, it's going to take a long time for them to search. And I found a pointer finger. So I'm going to take a pointer finger. Maybe they found the word red. And again, it's going to say, sorry, you've clicked an incorrect link. So I don't think that they can just kind of hunt through and scan, and it kind of depends on how big you want to make your box there, and I will show you how to do that. And so I'm going to click the blue because I know that the letters spell out the word blue, and then I'm here at my final one. And what I think would be a good thing to do, especially on ones like this when you can just click and it's kind of a little bit more straightforward. You could have them where they have to explain their answers on Flipgrid. So I'm going to click on the castle, and it's going to take me to Flipgrid right here, where which you would probably obviously want to link it straight to the Flipgrid that they would be reporting to. This is just the regular Flipgrid webpage. And so you would want to take it here where they're kind of talking it through. Okay, the first one I did triangles. I know that triangles have 3 sides. I sorted all those out, and I ended up with 4 and moved on. Then you would talk about how you figured out LOC 2. So probably something that you would want to encourage them before is you would want to encourage them to make sure that they're writing down their thinking, so that way when they're on their Flipgrid, it's almost a script word for word. So now I'm going to show you how I created it. So I just made a folder, one big folder in my virtual classrooms. I have a folder in virtual classrooms. So I started out with my title slide here. Now, what you saw, obviously you didn't see this piece. What I did is I always take this URL, and I did this for everything. So every single one of them that you see, it has this done to it. So I take this URL, and I'm going to, I thought maybe let's see here. Okay, I'm going to take this URL and I'm going to come over here to a new tab. I'm going to hit V and I'm going to paste that URL there, and I am going to make that not say edit. I'm going to make it say preview. Now, when you do that, when you make that say preview, then you are brought up here with the title slide, and there's no like editing, like so to speak. You can publish it to the web. I just think this is easier, but that's just me. So X out of that. So I started out with my title slide here. I just found a background of Harry Potter. Again, you can get as creative with this as you want. If you want to make this more of a, dungeon-like thing or something else. I've done a breakout with a Google form, like a hacker kind of sort of deal. So you could make it kind of like a basement-y looking thing. And so then from my title slide, obviously the let's go here, I have a link. So I made this a hyperlink. So I just click on this. This is a word art. So you go insert and your word art is right here. And then you can change the font. You can change the outline, color inside, everything like that. I made it green, obviously, because green means go. And so you can see that it does link to this correct one. Again, I did change on my class 1. I changed it to say preview at the end and not edit. And so therefore I know that that's going to take me to class 1. And so I link that. So to link that, I just click on it, and then there's this little link, insert link right there. And so you would do that. Obviously, here's my link to my classroom, and you can see at the end it says preview. So that's how I made that there. Again, and then I just made another one. So I have class 1. Class 1, you can make it room 1, and you don't have to make it to different rooms. They could all come back to the same room if you wanted it to. You could give as many hints as you wanted to there. Again, like the small print and kind of upside down or on the side. A lot of times you're not even looking for that. Like you just kind of like, you're looking at everything else but not focused on the edges. Or you could put it smack dab in the middle, if you wanted to, maybe really small or something. And so I built this piece here. I wanted to make it look like dungeony and potion room. I actually Googled like the potion classroom, and then I kind of mimicked that. And it was kind of dark and dungy. It had some potion bottles everywhere, had a couple stools and tables. And so that's how I created this piece. So this is a virtual classroom. Like I can drag and move this here and around. And again, you want to, if you have a background on one of those pieces, a good hint there is remove.bg, and you can just drag and drop pictures in there, and they can, it takes the background off if it's white or whatever. So, and I did include my Bitmoji. Obviously, you could include, if you wanted like a puppy that you're following around and helping the puppy out, you could do that. I could have put Harry Potter here that's helping out. But I'm in love with my Bitmoji, so I kept it. So that's this piece. So then obviously I'm going to make the lock. I'm going to make that a hyperlink. And this is the one that I made it a copy. So I'm going to, when I go over here to link, you can see at the end, instead of edit and instead of preview, I put copy. So that forces a copy there. And so then they have that in their Google Drive so that they could, manipulate it and change the triangles without it changing anyone else's. Because if you have it to where they do that, they can't move it around. Also, since I had all the triangles on the outside pieces, I don't know if you noticed that, I had the triangles on the outside pieces of the Google Drawing. When you hit preview, if you make that, the outsides go away, so you would not be able to see all the shapes on the outside. So that's another reason why I like to that's another reason why I went ahead and made this a copy, and it was kind of like a worksheety thing. If you wanted to make the physical worksheet, that would be a good idea. That's something that you could do there, and maybe this lock would tell you a hint at where that worksheet is around the room, or they have to maybe answer a question in order to get the worksheet from you. That's just some things like that. And so then after I did that, what I did from here, I just right-clicked and I did make a copy. So that way it looks identical to the previous one, and it's way easier. Just looking straight there. So I'm going to, and I just hit make a copy. So therefore, then I went through and on my copy, I made it class 1 answer. So that's what I did here. And then I made my answers, how many triangles did you find? So therefore, they would come through here and know that it's 4. Again, hyperlinked these numbers, and I tried to make them kind of sort of blend in. That's up to you on how much you want to make them blend in or not. You can take this and you can change the color here. And if you go down here to custom, you actually can make the transparency a little bit lighter, so it's a little bit more see-through. It's a very faint hint of green. And so you can see it's a little bit more hidden there. And so it's not nearly as bold there. And you could actually then make the outline transparent. And again, even more hidden there. So that just, again, gives it the feel of the escape room. Okay. So that's just some options there. And then, I just found another slide. Again, you can make it to where after they click the correct answer, it goes back to maybe to the exact same classroom and you just have a different lock. That's another piece there. I like to make it in sequential order, and I do like to make it a little bit more challenging as they go because you want them to feel successful at the very beginning, and then maybe move on a little bit from there, not just get super frustrated, because sometimes they get very frustrated at the very beginning and they're just like, I'm done. So, and then obviously I just Googled another background, but you could definitely do this with, some forest back there and then Hagrid and Buckbeak were already here, but you could insert them in if you'd like. Again, be very careful about this when you're going out to, publicize this with some copyright things. And then, again, you can make your lock a little bit more hidden. I don't know. If you went in and you made a lock like this and maybe Google Drawing, you can make it a little bit more transparent and it would blend in a little bit more. And then, or you could, and like I did with the last answer, is make it a hidden lock necessarily with a transparent shape. And I'll show you again how to do that. So then once I click that lock, then I made my Google drawing. So I made the locks were drawings for me because you can't put YouTube links in there. And I liked having the Harry Potter theme song playing. I did not realize that it would keep, I didn't realize that once I clicked on the link, it would take it to another window and then keep playing again and again. And it gets a little bit annoying. So you could just make it on one of the slides. And as long as they have that one open, it will play out. And I think that's kind of a cool deal. And then, and then obviously after I take lock 2 to go back here, it says ready to unlock. I'm going to click here. That's another hyperlink again. And I just link that there and I hit that link and you can see that it has the preview. So it goes to that Google slide and it has the preview. Because you can make all of these instead of a slide, you could make it a Google drawing. All of them could be in each individual drawing. And again, just make sure it says preview at the end instead of edit up here in the URL. And then, so then on lock 3 answer, remember that it said blue. So what I did here, so make sure I click the right one. You can see here that I have a shape. So what I do is I go through and but don't make it transparent first, as that does make it a little bit challenging. So I want to just say the word hoop. So this little hoop down here. So I'm going to make my little triangle or my little rectangle or whatever shape you want to make it. You can make it a circle if you wanted to. So you can see that rectangle right now. But if you select that and make it a transparent shape with a transparent a border, it's gone. I can go click on it. And there's my little rectangle. And then I can hit my link here. And so then I paste my URL with the preview then at the very end for that leads them to that final, for me, the final slide that took them to the Flipgrid to explain their thinking. But that's how you can make those. It's super cool. I think it's really cool for kids to kind of go in and find that. But I would, like I said, do not make it transparent before you link it. So I do all my shapes just regular and link all of them. And then I go back through and make them transparent, because if not, then you think, well, where did I put that one? So that's just a little helpful hint that I have discovered. And then obviously I like the Flipgrid at the end, because this isn't, like with a regular breakout boxes or escape rooms, obviously you have to get it correct to be able to move on. And some of these, except for the last one, I guess, you have to, it's kind of a little bit more straightforward. And they could just kind of click around until they found the right one. And so in order to kind of keep that from happening, just a good thing on Flipgrid, just to kind of explain their thinking. I'm just a big fan of Flipgrid for talking those things through. And again, if you wanted to have them, explain, have a piece of paper or some sort of just a quick worksheet that says the boxes, here's your work, and then explain what happened or explain how you got this lock open, and go forward from there. Then you could in Flipgrid, essentially they could just read off how they did each one. And that would be almost like a script. And so they would maybe feel a little bit less pressure. That's for older kids. Younger kids, they love it. They love Flipgrid, and they love just kind of going in and rambling and subscribing to their Flipgrid channel, which doesn't exist, but maybe it should here pretty soon. And so anyways, but the high school kids, they don't like to do it. I'm like, you talk all the time, make silly videos for TikTok and YouTube, or Snapchat. And I'm like, but you don't want to make a video for Flipgrid? I don't get it either. But so that it does help take off a little bit of the pressure when you have a script there. So that was my little virtual escape room. I hope that you guys learned some things. I hope that you had some great ideas and great takeaways. Reach out to me, and I have my Twitter and email here at the end, and reach out to me if you have any other questions. Thanks for joining.